Hey Nick,
Hey Wyatt.
how you doing, bud?
I'm good.
Did you hear there's a new sport going around called quiet tennis?
Quiet tennis, eh?
Yeah, it's basically exactly like tennis, except there's none of the racket. We don't have it yet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is We Don't Have It Yet, your favorite podcast that you listen to. Probably not, but you know what? As long as we're one of the podcasts you listen to, we're good. I'm one of your hosts, Wyatt, and with me, as always, is my good buddy Nick. How are you, Nick?
That me. I'm good. I liked your little Truman Show intro there.
That was really just kind of off the
Off
cuff there at the last
off the
second.
top.
Wasn't really sure what I was going to do, but I'm kind of happy with it. So hopefully the rest of this episode, lives up to as great as that intro was.
Wow, you started on such a high point now. Where do we have to go?
We're just going down.
Yeah. I mean, come on. A mid 90s Jim Carrey dramatic reference in an intro. You can't do better than that. All right. Well,
Somebody stop me. What are
off
you
to a
up
slow
to?
start. I don't know, man. Just still keeping on spooky season. Watching a lot of movies. I've been doing this whole solar adventure. I don't know if I've topped off on that recently, but unpacked the inverter and all the batteries and actually like set up four of the panels in the backyard on some ground mounts and wired those into the low voltage input on the inverter, and I have 18 kilowatts of stacked power sitting in my addition right now. But unfortunately, I still have nothing to plug it into. I can plug stuff into it to power them, but I don't have a circuit panel, smart panel to integrate into my home electricity. So I've had the batteries just like sitting out back charging and yeah, I ran the Edition TV off of them to watch football yesterday. That's about as good as I've gotten, and a fan, so that was pretty cool. But unfortunately, until we get the panel installed, it's going to be kind of hurry up and wait. I have another electrician for yet another quote coming this afternoon, so I'll be very glad when I'm done with this whole process because yeah, I don't love dealing with contractors, and I've spent too much time over the last couple of years doing it to make this place livable. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that's been going on with me. What about you?
Still doing the whole unpacking thing. I know it doesn't look like it,
Doesn't
knowing
look like you're getting
obviously.
that far, yeah.
No, if you look, there's
Oh, it's clear on that
yeah,
side. Look at that.
yeah, I can actually
Oh,
sit in front of my nice window up here in the loft and look
yeah,
at the mountains out behind me.
those floors are very nice now that I can see them.
Yeah, aren't they? It's been a process, once you get a space livable enough, it's kind of hard to force yourself to keep doing it
Yeah,
because
once you find out all the stuff that you actually use on a day-to-day basis, it kind of just turns into when you actually need the next thing and then playing the game of going through all the tubs to find out where the hell you put it while you were packing.
yeah,
And
that's been the issue now
yeah.
is there's certain things that Caitlin will be like, "Hey, where's this thing?" And I go, well, I guess we're gonna go look for it."
Yep.
And some of the times it's fairly easy, and there's been a few things that I'm like, I'm not even 100% sure we ever owned this thing.
Oh,
So
there's stuff that I don't remember if we sold it at like a flea market or like a yard sale before we moved, and then I'll get mad that I can't find it. And then there's other times I'll get mad that I couldn't find something, and I'll just order a new one on Amazon. And then while that's on the way, I find the one that I
yep.
was looking for. All that good stuff, man. Moving's such a joy.
Yeah, in addition to all of that, we currently on and off have some bathroom remodeling happening in our upstairs bathroom, which is great because in the time that we've lived together, we've never lived in a spot with 2 bathrooms, and I don't know how often you've lived in a place with 1 bathroom living with multiple people, but it gets a little hectic sometimes.
No, I haven't had one bathroom since my apartment days. Pretty lucky in that regard, I suppose. But I'm sure if you ask my wife, she would definitely not want to share a sink with me or anything like that.
It'll be nice. I mean, almost every place that we've been together, actually, I'm pretty sure every place we've been together has had 1 bathroom, and not only has it been 1 bathroom, excuse me, but it's been a bathroom that somehow ends up on the absolute farthest point away in the house from the bedroom, down a flight of stairs on the other side of the house. Here, you have to go down the set of spiral stairs to get to the bathroom. Like, it's who wants to,
but not for long, right?
Hopefully, I'm hoping in
Yeah.
the next month or so we'll have a nice, a nice bathroom that is basically attached to the bedroom, which will make life a lot easier for all involved.
Luxury, man. A luxury.
I know. I'm not going to know what to
That
do with
sounds like the
myself.
little things, but you guys are both going to be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! How did we ever live like that before?"
Oh, believe me, we don't know how we're living like that as it is. But yeah, that'll be good. Other than that, I hosted video game night again last
Oh, the
week,
pinball
which
club. Cool. Yeah.
yeah, I've been
This was
basically
the second one, third one.
second. It's the third one the pinball club has done. The way my schedule's falling with like activities that I have, I'm doing every other week, and it's actually going to carry on like that for the next month and a half or so, just the way that things work out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did not have as many people as we had the first time, which I 100% was not expecting to have as many people this time. The first week we did Mario Kart, and I had, Mario Kart World, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I think Mario Kart 64 going on 3 different TVs. And obviously, as Mario Kart is anyone can pick up and play. And
Totally.
everyone wants to play it.
Yeah.
So this
Crowd
week,
pleaser.
yeah, this week I decided like I wanted to do, it's like those actors that they do 1 movie for the studio and then they do 1 movie for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One for them, one for me.
Yeah, I did Mario Kart for them, and for me, I decided I wanted to do Overcooked. Which have you ever played?
That is very appropriate for this show, I suppose, because no, I haven't. Yes, I do own it, and every time I've ever mentioned it to anyone that I haven't played it, they basically say, "What's wrong with you?" So there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so you probably know what it is, but for anyone that's listening that is unsure of what Overcooked is, it's a competitive, cooperative, multiplayer game where you are running a restaurant as you're basically 4 short order cooks that are being swamped by orders. And not only do you have these orders coming in, as you go through the levels, there are things that go wrong. Like the lights go out, and now you're running around this restaurant in the dark trying to remember where the tomatoes are. Or there's an earthquake that makes the restaurant, cut in half for a little bit, so you're stuck on your sides of the restaurant.
That does happen in my experience in life.
Yes,
on occasion, a chasm opens up and swallows half the staff, but
sometimes a meteor comes out of the sky and just starts a fire, and you just got to put the fire out, and you got to finish making that French onion soup. Like that's how it works.
That's how it goes.
So, my goal for this entire thing, running this video game night, I've said I will consider it a success if I get more than just me and 1 other person. If I can get me and 2 other people that want to play a game, I'm over the moon. Like that's great. So this time I had me and 3 other people that wanted to do it, and 2 of them had also never played the game before, which again is something that I absolutely love, is getting people to hop in and try something that they've never played. And we played for almost, I want to say about 3 hours straight we were playing. And
Dang.
I was unsure of how it was going to go because I failed to mention, as I was discussing, or I was explaining this to you, is a big part of Overcooked is there is a lot of yelling that tends to happen. There's a lot of what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you doing that? I need this. And it's very hectic, it's very chaotic, but it's awesome fun. I believe when it first came out, my cousins and I think there's like 60 to 80 levels, maybe somewhere around that in the first one.
Okay.
And we went through them all in the first night. And yeah, we put work in. And I believe like halfway through, Matt, who is ever the chaotic one in the group, has decided to dash around in one of the ice levels because you can't have a video game without having an ice level. Yeah, so he's dashing around. There's a button to make your character run, and he's knocking us off the ice. He's just going. It's
classic Matt.
Classic Matt, exactly.
Come on,
yeah,
Matt. I don't know you, but it's classic Matt.
He's a listener of the show, friend of the show. But I was curious to see how this was going to go with a group of 4 people that I wouldn't say any of us were friends. I honestly don't know if any of the other 3 knew each other. If they did, I don't think it was like they were friends. It was like they've seen each other at the pinball club and stuff.
Yeah, and acquaintance perhaps.
Yeah, and there was quite a bit of yelling, but it wasn't like at each other. Like I was surprised. Like it wasn't like, what are you doing? Like what the hell? It was more like, it was just panicked yelling as, well, we only have 20 seconds left. We need to get 2 more orders out or this or that. And
I think as it's been described to me was a great party game, but don't just sit there and play it with your spouse if you want your marriage to last. Is that somewhat accurate? Is that it's basically a lot of you yelling at each other while you're sitting on the couch, basically.
Yeah, I would say it depends on the relationship.
I don't think it was said in a serious manner.
But I actually have friends that have played this with significant others, and I wouldn't say it like caused their relationship to end, but it
hasn't gone well, and it didn't contribute to the good of the relationship, perhaps.
Yeah, it stopped some of my friends from playing any video games with their significant others after that, because they were usually it's and there's some couples obviously that both play video games, but it's usually one of you play video games, the other one hopefully tolerates it and or participates sometimes.
Yeah,
and if you kind of
dabbles, she dabbles. Yeah.
So depending on the kind of relationship, like if you guys kind of, give each other shit, lovingly or whatever, it's kind of the thing you do. Like it's not going to be any different than that. And you guys will probably have a blast, because Caitlin and I played it, I don't know, probably a couple years ago at this point. And there was a lot of like, what is going on? What are you doing? But like, that's kind of how our relationship is. So it just kind of worked with the flow of it. But it was a lot of fun. Like I said, we played for about 3 hours. I'd asked the 2 other people that hadn't played it before, like what they thought, and both of them are excited to play it again, which is, kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I'm off.
If they would come back to do it again, for sure,
Yeah, I'm off this week for an event, and then next week I think I'm gonna have to double check, but I think I'm doing Perfect Dark next week. I was gonna do GoldenEye, but I decided I wanted to pivot to Perfect Dark because Perfect Dark is the best James Bond game on N64. It was actually originally meant to be a James Bond game, and they Rare lost the license, and it became its own thing.
It's a better game than GoldenEye.
100%.
Controversial as that may be, it's a better game.
I think people obviously have more nostalgia for
People
GoldenEye.
see through rose-colored glasses so hard with that freaking game, man.
Yes.
It was great at the time when that's as good as you could possibly do for a console first-person shooter, and 4 of you were sitting in the same room as kids experiencing it together. But it runs at like 8 frames a second. It plays like shit. Perfect Dark is actually pretty decent.
Perfect Dark with the expansion pack is a good game.
The only thing I remember that was, could you get the X-ray gun? I remember getting really mad about that in the multiplayer. That you could get the gun where you could see through walls and shoot through the map at people. You cheap bastard! I told you we can't use that gun. But otherwise, good game.
Have you played? Probably not. Have you played Screen Cheat?
Don't know that one.
It's usually pretty cheap on Steam. I assume it's on consoles now too, but it's basically I say modern, but it's probably 10 years old at this point, the modern day equivalent of playing GoldenEye. So essentially, you can have up to 4 players on the same screen, and I'm gonna assume you probably play online too. It's been so long since I've played, and I've only played
This
local
is
that I'm
called
not
what?
sure.
Screen sheet?
Screen cheat, yeah.
Oh.
You have you have up to 4 people, and you have 4 different colors. And the colors you can blend into the background, and the only way you can really find your opponents is by screen cheating, by looking at their corner of it to see where they
Yeah.
are and trying to figure out where they are. And actually, right now we got the autumn Steam sale going on, and it's not on sale because Google's lying to me, not surprisingly. But yeah, it's usually fairly cheap, but it looks like it is just couch, which makes perfect sense to me
It
because
does
that's
look like it's just
exactly.
couch, but like it goes up. I'm looking at it with it split 8 ways right now. It's not just 4. Yeah, there's 6
Oh
way,
yeah,
8
yep.
way.
I wonder if that
Wow.
changed. I only remember playing with 4 people, but that's a game that maybe we're gonna have to see if we can get a few people together for a really rad weekend and
Yeah, it would be a great
do
party
that.
game.
That would be one of those. I think they do a couple events or a couple things there where people play games and watch. I think oh god, Kelsey and Sam and all them played Mario Party, I believe, last year or something. Uh, I feel like this would be perfect for something like that, having 6 to 8 people just kind of going at it with that.
Yeah,
But
plop me down, put a controller in my hands. I don't need to know what I'm playing. It's fine.
so I know you've been. I've been seeing your Steam status, your Discord status. You've been playing a lot of, I believe it's called South of Midnight
Oh, that's on Xbox. Yeah.
on Xbox. Okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
know nothing about that, but I just know that I've seen you playing a lot of it.
yeah, I've been burning through it all week. Well, I didn't have a game assigned to me this week, so that's kind of. I was looking for, when you finish like a bigger game, a lot of times you're looking for maybe a little more of a palate cleanser type of experience that's not
Yeah.
all engrossing. I looked up, how long this was, and it said like 12 to 16 hours, and I thought that was pretty perfect. But it's a
Right in the
3D,
pocket.
yeah, 3D adventure with some, mild RPG elements. But it takes place in like the deep Louisiana South, like Cajun country, and goes into a lot of like the folklore and history uh, in those communities. It kind of like urban legends of the monsters in the bayou that might snatch children away and things that you were told as
Yeah.
kids there growing up in those areas. And basically the game opens in a flood, and your house and your mom get washed away in it, and that's start of the adventure. But it's just 3D platformer, some pretty basic combat. Like the gameplay is not going to blow anybody's mind. A lot of run here, jump up here, climb, shimmy along this ledge, jump to that ledge, up this thing. Very Uncharted kind of in that
Okay.
way.
Yep.
But with magic and hand-to-hand combat versus any gunplay. But like I said, gameplay, it's not going to set the world on fire, but the story was really good. I really enjoyed it, and the characters are great, and it's got a lot of personality. But the neatest thing about it, I think, is actually it's done with like a stop motion animation style. Where
Really?
if it doesn't translate in the actual gameplay, which I'm thankful for because it would look really odd. That when you're playing, it's a smooth 60 kind of thing, but it's when it goes to the cutscenes, everything kind of takes on. I'm trying to struggle to think of like what I would compare it to. Almost like a what's the Tim Burton stuff, like Corpse Bride
Okay.
or
Yeah.
something like that, where it's not animated, but they're 3D models that are being stop motion animated kind of thing. But it's not like a claymation. They have kind of fabric textures and different kind of things that make up all the characters, like almost like a patchwork kind of aesthetic. It's wholly original, which is certainly a rarity these days as far as content goes. And yeah, just different enough to be a lot of fun, even if the gameplay is kind of bog standard in a lot of ways. It's different enough. I had a ton of fun with it. highly recommend. It's on Game Pass, so you can just jump in and play for free if you have that. It's not something that I probably ever would have found, bought, even known of really, if not for Game Pass. I remember seeing it on whatever, however we see games now. Maybe it was on the Game Awards or
Yeah.
State of Play or whatever the Xbox One is. I want to say E3, but that doesn't exist anymore. I remember seeing an early trailer, and yeah, then it just popped up on Game Pass. If you have the chance, well worth your time.
Yeah, and I'd say nowadays, if you're gonna do something on Game Pass, you might as well hop on it because breaking news from a week ago, Xbox has upped the what was it by $10 or $15? It's up to $30 a month.
It went from 20 to 30 for Ultimate, I think.
Yes, and
which
Ultimate,
is the one I have.
Yeah,
I think Ultimate's the only one that's changing. The two base packages are fine, I think. But Ultimate really just gives you access to what the
Ubisoft
EA stuff, the
and
Ubisoft
EA Play.
stuff,
Yeah,
and then PC.
no, I think the second tier still has PC on it as well because I was looking at that.
Well,
I think literally the only difference is the Ubisoft Classics and EA Play or whatever EA's thing is come with the Ultimate. I believe the second tier, the one that's staying at $19.99, is what Ultimate used to be. You're just losing the EA Play because that was part of it.
Man, who cares?
So yeah, I don't. Most of the Ubisoft stuff and most of the EA stuff is like. Every time I look at that stuff, it's like, oh, you can play Peggle on Xbox 360 from EA Play. Like it's. Sure,
in fairness, I would probably play Peggle before a lot of the other EA titles. Actually,
I would.
I love Peggle.
I would just spend the $2.99 and just buy
well,
Peggle.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah,
that's like Ubisoft. Who the hell's going to pay for a subscription to play Ubisoft games? They go on sale for $70, and a week later they're $15. The publisher has no faith in their own product.
No. If anyone that buys Ubisoft games on release, I always
if you pay full price,
why?
man, what in God's name are you thinking?
If you got the money, sure, but like that's wild. You were playing another game that I saw. I can't remember what it was. God, you'll know what you were playing,
dude. I've been bouncing around between things so much. I'm doing the worst thing you really can do with choice paralysis is playing smidgens of everything. But tape to tape, I've been playing a bunch of this week.
Outcast. Outcast 2 was the one that I was.
Oh, that's what I finished.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about that yet.
Did we not? Oh, okay. Yeah, so I finished that before. So it's actually a sequel, if you could believe it, from a game from 1999, I think, that when I went back and looked at it, I actually did remember it coming out. I don't think I ever played it, nor do I think most people did.
Yep.
But they basically just took that whole lore and setting world that they had created from that game and made a new modern adventure out of it. And it was all right. It's way too long. Speaking of Ubisoft games, 3D adventure platform game, but no, not platform, 3D open world game, sandbox type of thing. But just fetch quest after fetch quest after fetch quest. Go back to this village and talk to this guy. Now you have to go back to the other village and talk to the other guy because you had to talk to. And it's like, it'd be cool if I could do something, guys. And meanwhile, it's a stunning world. You have like this awesome jetpack and wingsuit, and it's very like Just Cause and your freedom of movement and stuff, which I love in an open world game.
That, yeah.
Feels great too. Controls great. Combat was decent, and then there's like 4 types of enemies in the entire game, and every single NPC that's friendly looks almost exactly the same. It's weird. But at the same time, they also built like a metric ton of lore into it. So much so that you have like a live glossary that you can pull up while you're talking to people, so you can remember what that word means and this word means. But it got to a point where I just like blew through every single conversation because it didn't matter at all. Like there was nothing like really serving an overall story. It was just content on content on content on content, which very Ubisoft of them. Having said all that, I really actually kind of enjoyed it. It was like one of those 6 out of 10 type of experiences, though. Maybe let's say 6.5 to be kind.
Yeah, that's about what I look for in a game. I guess like
It was kind of a filler game. I'm never gonna really remember much about it, but it was fine. I think whatever sales it did probably reflect its meh fineness because yeah, I came across it for cheap, and I think that was the only reason I bought it. So it got decent reviews, and had never heard of it. So it obviously had to have a hell of a budget. Like it's not a small game.
yeah, I was just
But
looking at some screenshots and stuff, and it doesn't look like it's just something that was tossed together.
no, it's a
There's
full
definitely some
tilt.
money
Like
behind it.
yeah, it's a current gen game for sure. They could not have released it, I don't think, on last gen systems alongside it. So take from this what you will. Try it out, but yeah, try it on a service that you already get, or get it from the library or something. Don't buy it unless you have like I don't know, $20 or less, which I think what I paid for it.
And then you had
But
mentioned
tape to tape. Oh.
I was going to say you mentioned you've been playing Tape to Tape, and I'm
Tape to
super
Tape.
happy that you finally picked that up because
Oh.
I've been following that game think since before it came out on early access, and I've been
Tape to
playing.
Tape.
Yeah. So
It is.
what is Tape to Tape?
Well, and we're going to go through this conversation just like we have every other time. It's a roguelike or roguelite. I think it's a hockey
Sounds
game.
right.
Yeah. And I actually heard of it via LTT, Linus Tech Talk videos.
Oh, really?
Every time he's setting up a new PC, he's always like, let's see how it runs tape to tape. I know that it's going to run it just fine. I just really want to play this game again. And because it's not exactly, anything of a graphical powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination. But it's just a silly arcade hockey game with like fun abilities that you can unlock, and it kind of goes in a world map, world 1-1 to 1-2 to 1-3 to 1-4 Mario style, and then you go into the next, set.
You also have branching paths.
Yeah, it's built. Oh, it's like Hades. It's probably a better way to describe it, right? Where the goal is to complete a run, and
win the championship.
Yeah, but you're not going to do it right away, and the more times you fail, basically you have to keep retrying, but your characters, your team gets better as you go, and you gain more abilities and all that good fun stuff. But the abilities are great. Like, just one of them can be like chuck your stick at the back of the opposing team's head and smash him onto the ground, or there's one that's just called yeet, where you just pick up the opposing player and hurl them into the stands. Like, it's got a great sense of humor. It plays amazingly well. For a hockey game, and
controls are super tight,
and it's proof that you can still make a great arcade sports title without licensing.
Yeah,
for sure,
absolutely.
They've done it. They've made a perfect modern arcade sports title, in my view, without having any licensing whatsoever. So let's spread it out to more sports, which they kind of do here, actually, a little bit, because you start off, you have to play the football club on ice, don't you?
Yep. There's that. You play. I don't know how much you've honestly been playing it, but you also face a team that on a golf course.
Haven't gotten that far yet. Yep. I'll tell you how well I've done.
It's fun. Like every boss has a different gimmick. There's a boss you face that is like a bunch of necromancers, and they can create copies of your players to play against you.
Cool.
You play a team of referees, and
I've done that. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. And it's fucking they're bastards too, because you score a goal on them and then they just roll out to the
ice. They wave off the
goal. No goal.
Yeah, so those are other power. Yeah, that's a power up you can actually get. Is you can get a wave off the first goal. You can get a power up that the first, I think it's called like briefcase full of pucks, and the first goal of the game counts as 2 goals instead of 1 goal.
That one.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you saw. I was actually looking at the roadmap earlier this week because I saw that you were playing it, and it seems like they're getting kind of close to a full release, which is super exciting.
Is this still in early access?
It's still an early access game.
Oh wow! I just bought it because it was on sale on the Steam sale.
And I guess they're currently working on campaign 2.0, and the campaign is going to be completely different than what it is right now. And they kind of spelled out what they plan on doing with it, and I'm super excited to see where it goes. I didn't touch it for probably, I don't know, it's probably been 4 or 5 months since I had played it. prior. And when I picked it back up, there was already so many different improvements. There were new power-ups, there were new teams, they had new players, and I'm like, wow, they are really going to work on this game. I don't generally care a ton about joining early access stuff because I don't, it feels weird beta testing stuff for people.
I'm of two thoughts because like you brought it up with Hades too. You're like I did not get it in early access because I'm excited enough about that game that I want to experience it when they say it's done.
Right.
Kind of thing. But on the other side of that coin is like I'm playing something like Maze Mice right now where I enjoy opening it up on Steam just to see, oh, wow, there's a new level now. Sweet. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and yeah, I feel the same way. Like I don't like beta testing stuff for certain companies, but yeah, I have gone against that with quite a few things, but I don't know. I can't even say it's.
I'm much more inclined for like your indie and especially solo devs.
Yes, that is the difference. Yeah, if it's someone that is really looking to make the sales to try and help, continue building what they are. Yeah, it's a solo dev or a small indie team. I'm a lot more likely to be like, oh yeah, here you go. Like,
yeah, I mean, it feels like now a lot of times you get AAA titles where they expect, the first early adopters to be the QA team, which is just obscene.
So like Wreckfest 2, that's a game that I have not picked up in early access. Wreckfest is one of probably my favorite games I have ever played. And I saw Wreckfest 2 came out in early access and I was like, you know what? I don't want, like, again, it's a game that I'm going to wait for them. I know it's going to come out. I want to see the full release on that and I want to play it.
Yeah.
Like I had seen the early access was like 2 tracks, like 4 cars. Like it was basically just the physics engine that you're getting to screw around with while they're still basically building out the entire game.
A demo in a lot of ways by the sound of it, really.
Yeah, and I will be my, old man shakes fist at clouds, but like I miss demo discs. I miss demos. Like getting the PlayStation Magazine demo disc once a month that had 4 or 5 games in it. I would spend the next 2 or 3 weeks just playing the 20-minute demos of whatever it was. I spent, oh my God, too many hours with my cousins, again, playing the Pizza Hut Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh, which was it had the warehouse level.
Yes, there's a warehouse level. Yeah. You had 2 minutes. You could be Tony Hawk or I cannot remember. There was 2 skaters that you could be, and you literally just had 2 minutes. It wasn't, I don't believe it was multiplayer. I think it was you had one single run, and we played the absolute crap out of that. And like, there's just, I don't know. I'm so nostalgic, and obviously rose-colored glasses, but I'm just so nostalgic for that.
I'm nostalgic. I love those demo discs of old, and I could definitely the only game I had on PlayStation when I finally got my first PlayStation was the demo disc that came with it for a while because I didn't have any money to buy games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played the hell out of that thing. But it made me think as soon as you said it was, and maybe this is going back a little further than your gaming lineage, but shareware floppies.
That is I'm a little bit too young for that.
Huge part of my youth was shareware games for PC on floppy. And apologies to anyone who sold items at the Market Pro computer shows, but 12-year-old me was lifting floppies from your kiosks on occasion. I don't think I ever played like the full version of Wolfenstein or Doom for years later. Like the shareware discs, that's what I had.
It wasn't the shareware for that, like the first 2 or 3
it's
levels.
The first campaign. No, like the
first campaign. Oh, first campaign.
First campaign. Yeah, that was the deal. Like it was that in Wolfenstein, you got the first campaign. Doom, you got the first campaign. I think Duke, you even got the first campaign. And a lot of people, that's what they knew of those games, at least among me and my peers. Until somebody finally got the balls to nab a copy of Quake and the CDs, but that was years later.
Oh God, yeah.
Nostalgia.
I actually have, and I gotta dig them out. Again, it's part of the let's find where Wyatt packed stuff, but I still have probably, I don't know, 6 to 10 PS2, PlayStation demo discs, just ones that I had collected through magazines. I still have, and I gotta find it, and I bet it's worth something, but probably not a lot. I got a VHS tape from my Nintendo Power subscription that was like just a trailer for Banjo-Kazooie, and I remember like wearing that thing out.
I know the exact tape you're talking about. I can picture it because they would actually they would send the tapes to you, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it would
if you
be
just filled out the thing.
yeah. You didn't. It was how it was marketed.
That was marketing.
Okay, it's worth $7, so it's not worth anything. But yeah, it's just seeing that
something
stuff.
to you.
And that's why I have most of this stuff and why I get yelled at to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that means something to me, but has no worth to anybody else. And, you know, I moved into a smaller house than I was living in, so maybe I probably should pare down a little bit.
Well, you're sending those copies of Tetris and Duck Hunt to Joe, right? So that.
Oh yeah, I probably should just. At this point, I'm probably just gonna pack them in my carry-on and bring them with me. Because we are a month. Yeah. Exactly a month. Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah. If you go by that, because I think the 6th is when we're flying to Florida
together, which you can tell everyone about. Exciting.
Yeah, you know, I booked the flights. I know we talked about it last podcast, but, you know, flights are booked. Nick got the okay from his wife after I booked the flights, so thankfully, thankfully she was okay with it. And
I mentioned it 2 days later, I think.
Yeah, and you were like, okay, good news. She said it's okay. I'm like, well, that's great.
No, she did not say it's okay, and nor would she need to give permission or is our relationship anything like that. She said, thank you for letting me know. I can't wait to meet him, actually. So
no pressure is what you're saying.
Yeah, you better be on, man. You better bring material. You better have anecdotes ready for dinner time because I don't talk. So yeah, come prepared. Put on a good impression. And, because you're basically there to convince her that I can safely spend another weekend with you without getting arrested or waking up without my kidneys in the bathtub. So
hey, I'm a good influence. I might be a bad person, but I'm a good influence. My vices are fairly safe. So
yeah, I'm trying to. I don't even think you ever tried to get me to eat anything, honestly.
No.
You never.
I probably should have. I probably will when I get to Chicago, but
yeah. See, dude, we're gonna go on the food tour. I told you I took off the whole week now, so we're free. So
that's what I like to hear. I'm taking the whole week off too. So
yeah, well, I sure as hell hope so if you're flying here. But
I work remote, so I could technically work from your house, but that would be miserable.
I've already got it planned out. Like, all right, I'm gonna pick up Wyatt from the airport. And what time do you land? What time do you get in?
10:20 your time, I think.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna say it was 10 or 11. And all right, so then we head straight from the airport to the place. I won't spoil where we're going yet, but it's got great beefs, great dogs, great fries, and happens to be down the street from a brewery that opens early that has pinball. So we're gonna hit those two spots.
Snap.
And so we'll go to the pinball place after the dogs and beef to discuss what we're gonna have for dinner that you'd like to experience that night, and we'll just take it from there.
Yeah, and then that night we have Interium, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll be Tuesday night will be the Interium tournament. Oh, dude, this is gonna be great. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna finish last place, and I'm gonna be so happy.
I mean, it's definitely a crowded field and a lot of good players in the field. But when you're playing with like 100 people, usually somebody's gonna have a worse night than me. Usually.
That's how I felt during the season 35 finals of the New England Pinball League, and I literally finished 168th out of 168.
You may have succumbed to a bit of pressure, and it wasn't really fair that, if I recall, your first round of the entire tournament was not only against people that like made themselves be lower seeded to kind of mess with the system, but also you were on streaming. For your very first game of your very first tournament, you were playing the world. So how is that not in your mind? Maybe it's not to some people, but I know who you are, and I know how my brain works, and that would just be, don't look stupid, don't look stupid, don't look stupid, don't look stupid. I would be so in my head. So
it's kind of funny. Going from that, being very self-conscious of knowing that I'm on a Twitch stream that honestly 8 people are probably watching. It's not like it's a gigantic thing, but
it was NEPL or whatever, right? So
yeah,
you probably had a few folks tuned in, I would imagine.
A few, but going from that to, this is kind of a good transition, going to what's happening on Wednesday for Walk a Mile. I'm going to be walking, and I guess this is something I don't care about. I care about this, let me rephrase that. I care about this event, but I don't care about, like, embarrassing myself because it's not.
Yeah.
I guess since no one really knows what it is, it'd probably help if I explained more than just saying walk a mile. But so every year this year I'm actually volunteering on the committee, but every year I captain a team for this event called Walk a Mile in Their Shoes. It's an event for Thrive Survive Support Center, which is a women's shelter. It's for anyone that has experienced sexual or domestic violence. It helps them
find themselves in a transitionary period type of thing. And
there's a shelter, there are services, there's a 24/7 hotline. It's an organization that is obviously a nonprofit, gets a lot of money from either donations or federal, state grants, which we don't need to get too much into it, but we know that grants have all but dried up.
Yeah.
So this year is actually a very important year because there's been a lot of stuff obviously happening, and the money that may have been there in years past is
they can't depend on it being automatic anymore.
Yeah, and this is the big fundraiser. So what you do is you start a team, or you do it yourself. You join a team. You raise money, and on this year, it's usually the first Wednesday of every October, but this year it's the second Wednesday of October. Everyone gathers on Main Street in Concord, New Hampshire, wearing the fanciest heels, stilettos, what have you. Although really the idea is we want anyone there. So if you just want to wear combat boots and you just want to walk down Main Street, like, it's fine. But it's something that I have fun with every year. The first couple of years I did it, I usually set myself a pretty high target. And if I hit that target, I would go full out. I would wear heels, a skirt, a nice, a nice shirt, and I would just go for it.
I can vouch that I have contributed in years past, and Wyatt in the full frock, as it were, and some nice heels. I'm very glad that it's him walking a mile. I'll say that. I'm more than happy to contribute the money, and I mean, I've always said I feel for women, but seriously, if you're walking in high heels for a mile down, asphalt street or whatever, are you just like blistered to hell by that night kind of thing? Because obviously you're not used to it in any way, shape, or form. You're not going to have any calluses from wearing heels or anything. They're not comfortable to begin with. So I just imagine my feet being torn up.
So two caveats here.
Yeah.
One, it's called Walk a Mile. It's about a half a mile, which is still it's
kind of like the main part of Main Street kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. You walk down basically the main part of the main drag on Main Street, and then you walk, you turn around, you come back. So with that caveat being said, my feet don't it's definitely uncomfortable, but it's not like I'm not filled with blisters or anything after. But also, usually for a week before, I'm wearing them a little bit, walking around the house. It's somewhat. Hey, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Plus, you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and be like, "Ooh, legs and
see
butt.
Those calves.
Hello, what's up?" Yeah,
exactly. So, I make it a little bit harder on myself in the sense that I think last year I actually ran like 50 yards in my heels, and I'm not going to say I was wearing stilettos. The heels I wear have a very chunky sole on them, so I'm not really having to balance too much. Yeah, but I mean, I'm still standing in that weird stance where you're standing on your tiptoes basically with your heel in the air. So it's a different feeling. It's a lot of fun. I get a few friends. Caitlin does it. Caitlin's family does it, and I have a couple friends that join each year. And it's a fun event for a very serious cause. I think this year, and if I was smart and knew that we were, recording a podcast and knew that, I'd be talking about this, I would have, something in front of me that told me, these certain things. But yeah, we've raised about $36,000 this year, which is great. Our goal's 75,000. So I know a lot of people with, let's just say, everything going on. There's not as much money to give to causes as people may have had, in years before. This money is obviously going to help a ton, but it's a lot of fun. Did I send you the video that they asked me to make for a week out?
I knew that you were doing it. I don't remember if I saw the finished product or not.
I'll send it to you after this if you want to watch it. Again, if I was prepared, I could play the audio right now and we could put that on there, but it's not that important. I'll link to the event in our episode description if anyone wants to donate. That's awesome.
By the time when this comes out, it'll be the day of, right? So
it'll be the morning of. So it'll be fine. But
we'll get some thresholds ahead of time to hit some goal numbers next year because we'll still be recording this. We'll have a reason to. We have to. And
we'll be at episode. So I don't know, episode 50 something at that point.
Yeah, but no, I think if we hit $1,000, let's say, you're wearing these heels. If we hit 1,500, it's going up to stiletto time, and we just keep building up until you're just in ridiculous stripper heels that you literally can't walk in, and then you have to film yourself doing the whole thing. Yeah,
until I'm wearing penny farthing heels that have little wheels on them that I'm walking by on.
No, it's definitely a good cause. A friend of mine actually works for a very, very similar organization in Baltimore called Marion House that does. They just do a regular, I think, 5K. But I always contributed to that as much as I could every year, and similar thing, job services, women's services, etc. But yep, if you do look it up, contribute to Wyatt or just contribute in general. Good cause.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be to my team. As much as as I like the recognition, usually my teams are somewhere towards the top in donations, and usually individual donations are right near the top. But honestly, that's more vanity. I don't care if you donate to the team or not. It's just an important
donate
cause
just to the charity with the note of Wyatt sucks if you want. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
And then you can link to our podcast now. But
there you go.
But yeah, I think that's a much longer intro than we usually do, and we've got a couple of topics that we were given last week that we kind of need to get to. The Backlog Buster Brothers. We really need some intro music for
Backlog Buster Brothers.
I'll leave that for you to find us something fun for that. Maybe you could just record something like a cappella and.
Well, I'm already thinking of what's the music in the Neo Geo game. I can't really think of it, but yeah, we could do something.
They work. So, I assigned you last week the TV series Twisted Metal, which hopefully you got a chance to watch a little bit of.
I watched a good chunk, yeah.
Good. And I was given Star Wars Force Unleashed for Steam, is what I had played it on. I get a feeling you probably have more to say about Twisted Metal than I do about Star Wars, but do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
I can.
Why don't you walk us through?
So, I mean, if anybody's actually not familiar, I don't know what the hell you're doing listening to this show, but Twisted Metal is a series on Peacock? Right? Yeah, Peacock. That is a big screen or small screen adaptation of a PlayStation 1 game series, which went into PS2 with Twisted Metal Black. And
I think I had a PS3 release too.
I was going to say, you can tell me if there has been any since then.
I'm pretty sure there was.
Basically, it's a vehicular combat game. So really outlandish characters and vehicles put in crazy locales and fight to the death, basically. Smash into each other, fire rockets and machine guns at each other, everything in between. And not something that you would necessarily expect to totally translate into like a episodic television series, but it sort of works. I have thoughts.
Well, this is the time for thoughts.
Well, I mean, you've seen the entire thing, right?
Yes.
So I should mention that I said I was probably going to do it, and I did, against your better judgment or advice. I just went straight to season 2.
Yeah.
I wasn't really caring about John Doe or Wyatt's characters and their backstory and stuff. And season 2 has Anthony Carrigan, so I wanted to get to that as quickly as possible because I think he's fantastic. And there was a good 5-minute catch up. Here's everything that went down in the first season when you start season 2.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I missed anything at any particular point whatsoever. I'm sure there were great scenes, but I'm saying from a narrative point of view, not that deep. Not that you would expect it to be. Brass tacks. It's all right. There are times where I really get what they're going for, and then there's other parts where I'm just like, what is this? And it's hard because with the subject matter, they're really walking a tightrope of just pure, ridiculous, over-the-top action satire type of thing, and still
almost
trying
slapstickish at some point.
Yeah, but still trying to have a narrative that works, that you might give a shit about any of these characters. First and foremost, I didn't care about anyone in this show. Maybe I'm on the outside. Like I said, the whole John Doe and Wyatt characters are really only there as the kind of everyman and woman to make all these outlandish characters in the world exist otherwise. Because if you're just telling Sweet Tooth's story, that would just be batshit insane because he's a homicidal maniac, and it's supposed to be comical how he just goes around killing everyone for no reason other than he wants to have the reputation of being the most murderous person that is left in this apocalyptic wasteland. Which should tell you about as deep as the narrative, the story is really getting in this whole thing. And, it is self-aware, but somewhat to a fault. I have a really hard time putting my finger on it, but it's it's intentionally campy and it's intentionally corny.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of bad and corny at the same time.
I don't disagree with that.
Even though you're saying you're in on the joke, guys, this is kind of hacky though. And the way it's shot, and this speaks to other shows that are similar, almost adds a cheapness to it. And I don't know how to better explain that either, in so much as that it's all technically done very soundly, and I don't know if it's just the high def digital camera and the way that it's shot, but it's bordering on a soap opera effect type of deal when I watch it, in so much that I'm never really entrenched into that world and believing that it exists in any way, shape, or form. It looks like a bunch of people just randomly having fun on the screen and kind of winking and nodding about that they're doing these things that are completely ridiculous. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So I would say with what you're setting out to achieve, which is making a series out of something has basically very little story outside of, I think you got a screen and a paragraph when you beat the game with each character in the first one or something, right?
I think it was not necessarily stop motion, and I remember, like most people, I remember Twisted Metal 2 a lot better than the first one.
I mean, I'm sure I blend them together entirely in my head.
But it used to be, it was voice acting, and I think there were stills of this person wanted this, and then it goes to this, and I'm not sure if there was any video. I remember it being stills, but it might have been video.
I'm not saying it was video. I remember pictures and then
no, that's what I mean. I can't remember. It might have
text
been
on it or something. Yeah. God, this is only 25 years ago. Plus.
Yeah, Twisted Metal came out
96?
in 95.
95. Yeah,
30
damn,
years. 30 years ago. How old does that make you feel?
I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, I mean, it's a great thing to put on. I would say, like, in the background. I'm gonna finish the show for sure. Like, I enjoyed it enough to just, like, it's, if I'm typing something or working on something that doesn't require full Nick brain power kind of thing, and I'm really just filling out forms for the 10,000th time kind of thing. Yeah, perfect type of background show. I'm half involved in it, and that's about as much as I need to be.
Yeah. It's not
It's pretty,
cinema.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty passive consumption. Now, like, the action scenes are pretty cool, but some of them were also kind of like, I don't know, like when they started the tournament, it's like everybody's just in an airport hangar in the same place, and then they just all drive out onto the runway together, shooting at each other. It's like, well, this is going to be over before it starts. This is just silliness, and I'm realizing that I shouldn't be reading this deeply into, narrative decisions in the Twisted Metal world, but there was stuff that really worked, and there was stuff where I'm just like, all right, guys, let's settle down a little here. And I think it has to do with not just the source material, but I don't know who made it.
That's honestly a good question. Let's see if I can look real quick. Not really sure.
I mean, just saying, because it takes a very deft hand to kind of combine action and silliness and satire and have you, not check out throughout the whole thing. And yeah, it almost works.
Looks like
it works.
Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. Rhett Reese of Clifford's Really Big Movie fame, and Paul Wernick, who probably is, I'm going to guess, most of the driving force behind this. He wrote the screenplays for Zombieland and Deadpool. Actually, he wrote it with Rhett Reese. So these guys are part of the Zombieland and Deadpool teams.
That makes a lot of sense.
To say everything you just criticized actually fits in pretty well with probably the same criticisms you can make of Deadpool.
Fair, yeah. Deadpool, there's a little more charisma going on.
You don't think that Will Arnett is charismatic?
I was going to say, it's Will Arnett voicing Sweet Tooth,
yes.
And then it's, what's his name, the wrestler guy?
Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Jesus, he is an imposing figure, that's for sure. That whole thing was hilarious. Like, I did enjoy the character, but it's like you're kind of grappling with yourself a little bit because he's just completely inexcusable and horrifically horrible. Like, as a person, he has no motivation besides killing other people, and then for some reason being kind of like in a family with this other bear dude who's with him. I didn't totally meet their origin story at the time, but
Mike Mitchell,
yeah,
of Birthday Boys fame.
Oh, right, yeah, that's why I recognize him from. I couldn't place him either. Damn, good one.
Yeah, see, so I'm not saying that you, like, watching season 1 would have made you been like, oh yeah, season 2 is absolute cinema. This is, like, it may change your opinion of the show a little bit.
I might have been slightly more invested in the characters.
Season 1 is, like, literally the entirety of season 1 is spent just building what season 2 is. So hopping into season 2 and being like, yeah, I don't care about John Doe. I don't care about Quiet. I don't care about any of this. Like, I don't know who these people are. They're all just crazy people that are doing this stuff, which on the head, you were absolutely right.
Oh yeah.
But,
and,
like,
Dollface, his sister, and her little gang. Ugh, hated those characters.
Yeah. See, so you get the entire first season, like, it builds up to all of this stuff. And I think you would probably say, if you were at like a 5 out of 10, I think that if you watched the first season, you'd probably think it was like a 6.5 or so out of 10.
I think it's a 6.5. I think it's bordering on 7-ish, but
I think
6.5 is right.
I think it hit a 7, maybe 7.5. Like, I really enjoyed the show, but that's because, like, I just accepted it for being like, this is going to be garbage TV, and I was a little invested in the characters because I spent obviously the whole first season figuring everything out, and it was really cool. Kind of seeing how they tied in the video game characters into like, oh look, they put this person in the TV show, and there's in this season 1 at least, there's a couple characters that you're like, oh yeah, I remember him from the video game, and then they die like 10 seconds later, and you're like, oh yeah, no, that checks out. Like they were kind of a crappy character in the video game anyways, so that makes sense. But yeah, I would say you're not gonna lose anything by watching or you're not gonna hate it much more by missing the first season. But if you decide to, and I
didn't hate any of it. That shouldn't come out that way. And if I was only criticizing, then that's just because those are the things that I was thinking about building up to this. But yeah, I had fun. If you can't have fun with parts of this show, you're dead inside, probably.
I would say like you could pick at season 1 when you're done. Like it doesn't need to even be like, it could just be like, I'm bored, I'm going to toss something on for 28 minutes.
Well, that's what it's going to be, honestly. Yeah.
And that's the nice thing I think about this show is that most of the episodes are under 30 minutes, which I think is the absolute perfect amount of time for something like this.
Wholeheartedly agree, because I think if this was an hour-long show, you would want out by the time you were getting close to that hour every time, kind of thing. And because it's over the top and it's beating you over the head pretty much the whole runtime usually. So yeah, 30-minute increments was perfect for me.
How many episodes have you watched, give or take?
5.
Okay, so how do you like Anthony Carrigan's Calypso?
I think everybody is clearly having a ton of fun. And Anthony Carrigan is I don't see him in anything other. I see him as NoHo Hank, and I have to I have to disconnect that. But he's very much in that kind of like fiendy, wink and nod, evil, but I'm also a lot of fun guy type of. He's great. I mean, he's phenomenal. And I hope that guy keeps getting put into everything because, he's just wonderful.
I've seen him in a couple other things, and, gun to my head right now, I couldn't tell you what it was, but everything I've seen Anthony Carrigan in, I'm like, this guy's great. Like I'm sure
I had probably seen him in a number of things prior to Barry, but once I watched that and just, fell head over heels for NoHo Hank as one of the best characters ever.
NoHo Hank is one of the great characters in television history. Can
I get you something? We have juice box, maybe submarine sandwich.
No, he was in Bill and Ted Face the Music. I think that's actually what the only other thing I've seen him in, because I'm looking at his. What
is he, the robot?
I believe I cannot remember for the life of me what Anthony Carrigan played.
That was that movie is a hazy COVID memory at this point.
Yes, but yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of glad I think I enjoyed Twisted Metal a bit more than you did, but I'm happy to see that you didn't totally hate it, because this is one of those things like,
I did not hate it. No.
Yes. No.
I think they did an admirable job given the task that they had in front of them, because, I mean, like you mentioned, Deadpool. That's a hell of a lot easier to put a Deadpool story together when you've got tons and tons of, backstories, comics to go through, everything that you can pull from. Twisted Metal, there ain't
just
much.
You have like 5 video games that give you a total of maybe 25 minutes of material that you can pull from.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so, and then I was assigned Star Wars.
I'll give you another old one.
Star Wars Force Unleashed. I probably, off the top of my head, I think I've played about 2.5 hours or so. Probably not. I think enough to get what it is, but not.
I'm trying to remember how long it was. Honestly, maybe like 16.
Based on what I've seen, I'm gonna guess it's maybe a 20-hour
16, 20,
game.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is about. Oh wow! Actually, it's a hell of a lot shorter than I thought. It's only about 8 hours if you're not trying to 100% it. So maybe I will end up playing the whole thing.
Yeah.
But this is a game that, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get like a remaster treatment just because of rights and everything. But I think it's a game that absolutely could use some type of remaster or refining. It was fun. I enjoyed playing as, the main character, being able to use the Force, and basically, Darth Vader tells you to just go out and kill everybody. Um, and it was fun. You get new Force abilities, I think they're called Force combos and things like that. And it was fun. It's just the controls were just off enough to make it not as fun as I think it could be. And
Fair.
if I played this in 2008, I think that would be an absolute, I don't think that would be a complaint at all. Because if I'm looking at this through the lens, because yeah, it came out back in 2008. If I'm looking at it,
Pretty sure I played it on 360.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at it through that lens, I'm sure it's perfectly fine. And I bet, my looking at it now would be a bit different. But looking at it through the modern day lens, there's just something that just doesn't click with.
Is it like you can't quite put your finger on it, but it just feels off?
It just feels off. It's just a little too clunky, and it's just a little too imprecise. And
man, I remember having total control over being able to place stormtroopers exactly where I wanted to chuck them, and
yeah, you can use the force throw and stuff. Like, it works fairly well. I think I'm just spoiled from physics-based games these days that it just doesn't.
Well, you keep stacking on your abilities. I should say that.
Yes.
If you're only a couple hours, you're gonna get more. But I hear you.
Well, I think because when you start the game, and I guess I don't really care about spoiler alerts at this point because it's a almost 20-year-old game.
Yeah.
You start the game playing as Darth Vader, and I'm pretty sure you have all of the abilities when you're playing as Darth Vader, and maybe not, because maybe Darth Vader's assassin will surpass his abilities, but I think you get a pretty good gist of everything you're going to use as Darth Vader. It's almost like those games you play where you get to start off and you have every ability, and your health bar is completely maxed out, and then something happens and you have to start back from scratch. It kind of feels like that's that type of game, but I don't know. I will continue playing it. I don't think it's going to be like my next Bastion where I'm like, oh man, I need to keep playing this. This is awesome. Almost like you with Twisted Metal. It's like, yeah, it's enjoyable and I can see how it's fun, but like it's a 6.5 game for me, probably.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm sure when it came out, it probably would have been like an 8.5, 9 game, but it's just something is just off.
Doesn't feel right. Yeah, fair enough.
Like it's
Hey, can you
just
pause for just a sec? Because
Yeah,
my
let's
son
take a break.
My son just got home. Hang on.
Yeah.
I have to go let him in.
Who's the superhero saving Detroit from high prices? Quick Rick Mahorn in Dearborn.
Help! I need to buy a car fast. Who can help me?
I can help you. It's me, Quick Rick Mahorn of Dearborn. My parents were killed in an alley, so I became a superhero who can run fast. I could put you into an affordable used car like that.
Thanks, Rick Mahorn. That was fast.
My work here is done. I think I'll run to France and get me a croissant. Ooh la la, you want a fast deal? Come to Quick Rick Mahorn in Dearborn.
On Greenfield and Warren, next to the Big Brown House.
And I hope you enjoyed that small commercial break. Yeah, as I was saying, probably like a 6.5. Maybe I would put it at a 7. I did, and it was a great suggestion from you last week. I did run it with lossless scaling, and I ran it
cool.
without because I wanted to see how it went. And
Yeah,
lossless
yeah.
scaling did actually do it. It made the game look pretty sweet, and it was running pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So I probably need to start using lossless scaling a little bit more with some of the older games I play. I probably
So
could have used
that's-
it with Bastion, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
didn't.
a lot of stuff, I loved it just for older games. Like,
Yeah.
not necessarily stuff my computer isn't up to snuff to run at full frame rates kind of thing, but actually putting, filters and stuff on
Right.
top of older games and bringing them up to maybe frame rates that they were never meant to run at. I imagine Force Unleashed Unleashed was only ever a 30 game. I don't know about on PC, but if you can run it at 1080 60 now, it probably looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I ran it for probably about half an hour or so without it, and then I'm like, all right, I remembered that Nick said a thing. I should probably do this. So I ran it with lossless scaling, and yeah, it's really wild how much how cool lossless scaling is. Like, I need to do a little more of a deeper dive into it just to look into like.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't
how
know,
it works.
Lossless Scaling is a solo dev app that sells for, I think, $7, or I think it's $6.90, and regularly goes on sale for $4.20. Nice. But it's a frame insertion, scaling, frame rate app that's basically doing a lot of the same stuff as the big boys at AMD and GeForce are doing with similar technologies. But it's, I would say, vastly more efficient and includes a lot more options. So you can take something like an SNES game, and instead of just something standard like putting a CRT filter over it, you can have it do all sorts of neat stuff that you can do bilinear filtering and trilinear, and you can make it look however you want, basically. Whatever experience you're going for. And if you have an older computer that can't run top shelf games at the full frame rate, this will make them do that. It blows my mind, the technology. And you don't have to have anything near a cutting edge video card to make it happen either, because God knows I don't.
What are you running on your PC?
I have the 1080 that you gave me.
Oh, yeah.
And my main rig that I'm recording at right now is a 5600 XT. So an old AMD that I bought 2 years ago for $100 on eBay, I think, and still works just fine for me. I don't really understand modern video card stuff very much, because like I'll sit down and I can play with this video card and play something like Battlefield and get 120 plus frames a second without lossless scaling on. But at the same time, Battlefield 6 is coming out, and this card is the absolute minimum requirement to get it to run. Is that just, I mean, these are the same generation games? Is that just speaking to a total lack of optimization for modern games, where these like 5080s are just brute forcing the shit out of everything?
I think that's exactly what it is. Because if you've looked, obviously and most people that play games know that game file sizes are exploding, and that's for a couple of reasons. I can't remember where I read this, and it was a year, maybe a couple of years ago, but developers, space is a premium. You don't play a game on a disc anymore. You don't play a game on a cartridge anymore. You have to install it on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your PC. You're always taking up space. And if you don't optimize for size, then you can only install 2 or 3 games. So you're going to capture, like Call of Duty has 300 gigabyte file sizes, because
all you want to do is play multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2, but you have to install every single thing they've made in the past 5 years. It's absolute horse shit.
And guess what? You do that, and then
because it takes up the majority of your hard drive, because then you won't play other things.
So that's a big part of it, and there's no incentive for.
Why would you optimize it if you don't have to fit everything in 5 gigs? Yeah.
So it just makes people like us mad.
Well, not to mention, you got quarterly results too for shareholders, and a market which basically says release it, screw the consumer, we'll patch it down the road, but get it out. We have numbers to hit. Who cares if the product's not ready? That's the world in which we inhabit. So yeah, that's why I rally against anyone ever pre-ordering anything.
Yeah, this is why I enjoy, most of the games I enjoy at this point are either 10, 15 years old that I pick up for $2, $3 from a Humble Bundle or something, or, I've been playing a lot more indie stuff, because, indie games, it's usually it's a labor of love. It's something that they're putting it, they're trying to put out a game that is going to be great. They're not EA
Well,
putting
they're also
garbage
making
out.
something that they want to make versus
Yes.
trying to paint with the broadest brush possible to appeal to everyone who has ever lived and hope that everyone on the planet buys this product. That never works. That's the absolute antithesis of how art works. You can't make something that speaks to everyone. It doesn't work that way.
No.
You can get something that's popular, but you're going to have to water down your product to give it broader appeal. And that just makes a shittier product. So I'd much rather play a labor of love that some guy spent in his bedroom after work making for 3 years, or kind of, versus some burned out team that hates the people they're working for and the product they're making.
That just put out Call of Duty 23 Black Ops
Yeah,
Ghost
it's
Edition.
ridiculous. And you know what? I'm not above it. I enjoy, playing those multiplayer games just to kind of turn my brain off sometimes. I like the way COD feels, but I have no interest in going out and buying an annual title and having, like you said, like a 200 gig install size that takes over everything. Nuts to that. I'll just find it elsewhere, kind of thing. COD Mobile's even the same thing. I have all these Android handhelds that are pretty powerful, and COD Mobile is a very competent experience with controls. It's basically a one-to-one to the console experience, but the install is massive.
And this has been Nick and Wyatt shake our fists at...
Yeah, we raise canes and clouds.
Yeah, but
we are going long today, and we still have assignments to do.
Oh yeah, we should probably get to that. Well,
yeah.
To be fair, we had a nice little commercial break in there, so we're probably not running as long.
Brought to you by my son getting home off the bus.
Yeah. So why don't we start with you if you have something, because I'm bouncing between two different options. And,
different options. Well, we are on movies this week.
Yes, I've got a movie. You've got a game.
Yes. Well, or I suppose I could give you a television show, but I'm not going to do that. So we are still deep in spooky season, which
spooky.
I have been still getting into. I watched 4 movies this week, actually. I watched 28 Years Later, which I learned is a part 1 of a trilogy. Not that thrilled about that.
Oh, you didn't realize that was...
No, I thought it was 28 days later, 28 weeks later, 28 years later. Boom, this would be the third one. I was like, man, there is not a lot happening in this movie. It seems like they're just building up for a larger story. And it's until I finished it that I was like, oh, there's 2 more. That makes way more sense. And I watched House 2 again, which is just a favorite that I haven't seen in years. But I'm going to kick it over to you with one that I watched last year, which I believe you said you hadn't seen, but I really enjoyed. And we're going to stick with this for October as long as you're getting stuff for me, which was Destroy All Neighbors. This is a 2024 movie directed by Josh Forbes, who I'm not familiar with, but this is actually, I believe, writer-producer starring Jonah Ray from Nerdist from back in the day. I don't know if he's still associated with them at all.
And Mr. Science Theater. He was in the reboot of that.
Yeah, and you also got Thomas Lennon is in it, and Mr. Alex Winter, who I know we both love. And
Kumail Nanjiani's in it.
Yep, and if you liked a movie like Freaked, with a lot of heavy monster makeup and practical effects and lots of facial latex and all that good stuff, you should be able to find some fun with this one. It was 2024 comedy, horror, and more is what they have listed as the genres. This is kind of the most Nick movie ever. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it is horror comedy and revolves around the central character trying to write a prog album. So as you can imagine, that fits right in with my musical taste. But it's funny. There's some real standout characters, and I think you'd enjoy it. I think you could watch it with your partner as just a fun Halloween movie, and you'd be hard pressed not to have a good time with it. So I figured that was a good one given the time of the year. I want to stick to the spooky season for now. Destroy All Neighbors for Wyatt.
I am quickly looking at this, and it looks very stupid in the best way possible.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty excited to watch this. You had me sold at Alex Winter.
Yep.
I'm a huge Alex Winter fan.
He's having a ball throughout the entire thing, I can assure you.
Good. I will probably get to this sooner than later because I'm pretty excited for that.
Oh, cool.
So
I've done good.
You did. I think. Well, we'll see after
Okay.
I watch it. But I think you did. I've got a game for you that I think you just recently added to your backlog. So while this isn't the best use of the exercise of us trying to get rid of stuff,
Did I just added it to my list as I was building that up, or it's something I just bought recently?
let's go with the second one. I'm
okay.
fairly certain you just bought it.
Okay.
Because I said, you need to buy this because I'm a
okay.
terrible influence. So I'm going to give you Nubby's Number Factory.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me to buy this.
So this game, I think Rad Junk Joe actually brought this game to my attention, and I know he was super into this for a little while.
This is this Steam game.
Yep, it's a Steam game that's, I can't remember what it was. It was probably like $2, $3. It's a super cheap game.
It was cheap enough for you said buy this, and I went, oh yeah, sure. Well, if it costs that, yeah, all right. Didn't have to think about it.
Basically, it is, going along with our theme of the show, I guess. It's a roguelike. I'm going to say it's a roguelike. I'm pretty sure that's the correct term. It's a Plinko, Plinko, the old Price is Right game.
Hell yeah.
It's a Plinko style roguelike game where you play as Nubby in his number factory and you drop him down a Plinko style pegboard to try and it's almost like a reverse breakout Plinko. So like each...
That's kind of what Plinko is, isn't it?
Yeah. Each sphere that you hit on the way down has like a certain number. Like this one has 1, this one has 8. You have to hit the 8 times to make it go away. And each time you drop Nubby down, you try to put him in the right spot. You unlock a new power up or a new whatever, and you keep building on that. Kind of like Luck Be a Landlord, Balatro.
Sure, yeah. Well,
any of those dungeons.
Safe to say, I might enjoy this one then.
I think so. It's going to be something that you probably mindlessly play for 10 minutes and go, okay, one more. I screwed up. I can.
That's what I love. Yeah, that's what I love is just one more run.
That's the video game equivalent of crack, where it's like I just need to have one more hit, and
yeah, that was very Balatro and Vampire Survivors. Yeah.
Yes.
Next thing you know, it's morning.
8 hours has gone by. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. I think this will. I don't know if it'll be like in like your permanent rotation of just not twitchy, but just like little quick hits.
Dive in, dive out kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it on Steam right now. It certainly has an interesting art style. I don't know how
it's very Windows
describe
95.
It's very, very, yeah, I was going to say like clip art collection, Windows 95, mixed with a little bit of like derpiness, I guess is the word. It's kind of Boggs Binny kind of deal. I don't know if that works.
God, I'm trying to remember that game that everyone used to play that was like this. I thought it was Zood,
Snood.
Snood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, that it reminds me of Snood mixed with like a Windows 95 aesthetic mixed with just like clip art and just
but with a side of like I don't know.
Yeah, you play as someone named Nubby at a number factory. It's very like there's not a whole lot to the game when it comes to backstory or really the game itself. It's just I'm going to do this. This is going to be fun. But I think I'm willing to bet that next week you're going to come back and be like, oh yeah, no, I put more time into that than I probably wanted to, but I'm probably going to play it after we finish this up.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you would just given me more tape to tape, but I realize that's not very good for content, so I'm going to put that aside and actually give this a try tonight. Especially
since that's not a backlog game anymore, because you've put enough time into it that it's... And I don't know if you noticed, but Tape to Tape actually does have like an online multiplayer.
No, I was going to ask you that actually, because it says like create a player, create a team, and tournament, but I haven't done anything besides just go straight into campaign.
Yep, yeah, I believe you can either do same team or versus multiplayer in that. And I think either it's been added or it's going to be added. There's going to be a 2-player campaign, which I think is kind of cool. I always enjoy stuff like that.
I'd love to do that.
But so maybe that will be an assignment for us when we get to the full release and that stuff has been put in the game. Then we can do a tape-to-tape special.
We don't have it yet. Let's plays are coming, folks. Oh God, I shudder to say
everything
it.
that you don't want.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think that's a little more than our time. But thank you everybody for joining us once again, and we will see you next week. I am Wyatt. That is Nick, and we don't have it yet.
See you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.